I didn't say you had to put it in your mouth.
I don't know how many straight people are eating
appreciate
ass. Do you?
The straights eat ass now.
I know. Oh, the straights are fisting. Like women. Like vaginas. You didn't know this? You didn't know that? Hello, and welcome to Something Fruity with Daniel Choi. On today's episode, I feature my dear friend James, who's both an absolute delight to hang out with and who's one of the most interpersonally rigorous and thoughtful people I have the pleasure of being friends with. We take turns sharing fun or incriminating facts about each other. We break down some of my so-called life mottos and workshop some potential new ones too. We debate whether we'd rather swipe right on someone whose dating profile describes their political views as moderate or apolitical, and a whole bunch of other random fun stuff too. Since this is my first episode, I want to thank you very much for listening. This is something I do purely for my own enjoyment, just because I always have a blast talking to my friends about so many different topics, and I hope this is a way to engage even more of you by sharing some of these conversations that I have with them. And I also just love featuring friends of mine who I think have cool or fun things to say. So thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoy.
Look at me, clapping extraordinaire.
I'm gonna kill you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Something Fruity with Daniel Choi.
Yikes.
Wow, what a supportive friend.
Friends feels extreme. Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Hi. All of you listening are probably my friends. And I'm
Again,
excited. This has been a long time coming. I've been talking this shit up for months and been a lazy butt. But now I'm here. And my first guest for this episode is James.
Hang.
What should our listeners know about you? Who are you? How have you been?
Yeah. I'm James. Seems
How do we
about
meet?
right.
Up in the Bay years ago. And I haven't seen James in many months because he's been globetrotting.
Just putting all my business on the street. Okay. I see how this is going to go, and I feel like it's not going to end well for either of us.
Oh, I think it's going to end
So
great
here we
for me.
go.
I don't know what you mean. I feel like I need to do this. I need to hear myself.
I can hear you perfectly.
So on this podcast, people ask me, what's the concept? What's the premise for your podcast? And I
Wait.
said,
I'm sorry. Who's Kathy?
who's Kathy?
You said Kathy would ask me.
People would ask me. People would ask me, what's the concept? What's the premise? What are you going to talk about? And I said, this podcast is vaguely queer, and that the things I'm going to talk about range from everything from interpersonal dynamics and relationships to race and politics and gender and sex and dating and other things. But really, it's just an excuse, I think, for me and my friends to listen to our own voices and to hopefully share some funny and entertaining things with you all. But
Not something that I need. Require.
But James,
Even want.
I'm going to be earnest for 2 seconds because he's being a little bit of a butt. But James is one of the guests I wanted to have because I think that I have learned, like, in terms of my, like, interpersonal politics education, like, you are one of probably 3 people that I think have, like, incidentally taught me a lot about how to relate to people and understand myself and how I treat and harm and receive other people's behaviors and everything.
Coincidentally, I'm also his only black friend, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Is that true? I don't think that's true.
Is it?
That's fine.
Your listeners will like to know.
I don't need to defend myself because
Look at that.
yeah, it's not true, but that's cool. I thought that we would take turns telling the listeners a fun fact about the other person.
Oh, okay. Can I have mine?
For me.
Yeah.
A fun fact about me.
Yeah.
And I want you to know that if I don't like it, I can I reserve the right to edit or bleep or whatever. So think carefully about it being palatable and entertaining without like throwing me under 10 buses. But go.
I mean, I don't have a bus to throw you under. That's not how my finances are set up. But my fun fact about you is that Daniel is my inner saboteur and my outer saboteur. For example.
Wait, what does outer saboteur mean?
You're on the outside and you're saboteuring.
No, you said you're your own outer saboteur.
No, I said you are my outer saboteur
person. Got it. Okay. And say more about what that means.
This podcast, for example, I feel like I'm being sabotaged. I don't know the questions, the topics, the theme, the categories.
Okay, James.
Sabotage!
If you felt this way,
I told you this.
I'm hearing this for the first time.
That is a black American lie.
I'm just kidding. Okay, I don't have curveballs. I just have ideas for things to talk about. And if you're feeling vulnerable, that seems like not something that I have contributed to you feeling that. So I don't know. I'm curious about what's coming up for you, but maybe it's not our listeners' business.
The gaslighting begins. Here we go.
But what have you been up to lately? I haven't seen you in literally...
Wait. Are we just glossing over this fun facts thing? Technically, it's your turn, but I can share something else about you as well.
Saying I'm your outer saboteur is not a fact. Like, you need to say a thing about me. Or
do you see how he's denying?
I'll let you elaborate. Please just elaborate what you mean. Outer saboteur.
I told you will try to sabotage me at every opportunity. Actually, I think Daniel is everybody's outer saboteur. You were just telling me a story earlier today about
how... Is this a story that should be on the air?
I mean, I'm not going to say no names, but you said that one of your friends told you that you sabotaged them. Oh. I mean, I'm saying this because it involved me.
What's like the second letter of their first name?
R.
What? Yeah. No, I just put someone on the spot.
Sabotage!
Oh, no. That's promoting open and direct communication and giving people practice at confrontation.
Which, if they do not want...
Sorry.
Or what if they were trying to impress somebody and you just embarrassed them in that moment? Sabotage? Y'all can tell me.
None of that happened.
Y'all can tell me.
Oh, my God. Stop doing like a bit. It's fine.
This is not a bit.
Okay, I'm one of James's outer saboteurs. That's a great fun fact about me.
But my favorite one. I have several.
Okay, yeah. So James is a gifted singer, so much so that he was selected as the male soloist in Seasons of Love from Rent. I don't know if it was a production or just a cabaret or just that one song. And he was selected as the male soloist. And what's the line that the male soloist sings? And he's a sheep. How's it go?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know it.
So, and then he does this whole bit where he's like, I can't sing. And then that's all fine. I mean, I think that's like a normal thing for singers to do. So that's fine. It's right, writing character. So watch him do it right now.
I would like to respond if you will have me. So, I will not deny that some of those things are true. However...
What was the not true thing?
You called me a singer, incorrect.
Oh.
I can sing things, and some
perfect.
people are not completely offended by the sound. I would say that in today of things, whatever month this is of the year 2023... I'm nobody's version of a singer. You, however, are incredibly talented vocally, and you can do lots of really impressive things.
Anything impressive that I can do that there is recording of is something that was touched up in post. I promise.
That recording from your little country music karaoke from your birthday how many years ago was not touched up in post. It's my video.
Yeah, I do two great country impressions. One is the deep hick, like deep guttural, and then I do like a higher, like the guy from Rascal Flatts, like high voiced country impression, and I can do neither on the air.
Oh,
Like I
was
think
let's
I
hear
think
one of
yeah,
them.
they said it's not allowed. I think that's what my producer said, but I don't know why.
Shut me
Yeah.
right on up. Okay.
Okay. Do you have another fact about me?
I mean, you just shared some facts about yourself.
Yeah,
That was one.
I
You
elaborate on yours because I respond like I don't try to like deny the fact about me that you say, and I say, oh, that's true, and yeah, so yeah.
You did not say that I was. You did not affirm that I said you were my saboteur.
No.
I said that
okay.
the things that you said were mostly correct.
Okay.
And I feel like my first fun fact about you was very thorough. And then I also shared that you are an incredible singer and can do really impressive things with your voice.
Okay, you don't get to just throw mine back as one of yours. But yeah, what's a new one? Yeah, what? What's a new one?
Do you see that?
What's a new one?
I
What's
already
another?
feel attacked. Talk about sabotage.
Just gotta move things along. Come on.
Let's see. I think there's so many really interesting things about you. I think you are one of the most complicated
Oh no!
but brilliant people I have met.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, I would have to add some specifications, but I'll refuse because I'm not trying to be racist on
Racist
2 and
against
3
who?
people's internet.
Racist against me?
What was the next topic?
Oh, actually, before I go to my next fact about James,
There are multiple facts.
you talked about my karaoke birthday party in 2019.
I know where this is going.
Yeah, this was my like first birthday party that I threw in the Bay Area, and I did not have friends, I would say.
Sabotage.
And I hope, there's a small handful of people who are present that might listen to this, and they will not take offense to this.
Okay.
Where that was, I would say, my least successful birthday gathering I've had in my life, and I carry lots of pain and shame around that evening. But a lot of people there contributed very positively to it, including James, and I'm very grateful.
I had a great time.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he did have a great time.
I don't think your friends enjoyed me as much as I
No,
enjoyed
I think
the
they all
time
enjoyed
together.
you. And the people that matter that were there were like Natalie and C. Shen and stuff like that. Wonderful. It was all a blast.
See how he calls his friends stuff?
What does that mean?
You said the people were there that matter were Natalie and the other person you named and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm like those
Stuff
were the
like that,
meaningful-
not like
oh,
people
I
like
wasn't
them.
referring to other. There was no one else I wanted to name in that list. Yeah. Oh, my next fun fact about James is you used to be able to see James shirtless on a billboard in Los Angeles. Is this true?
It is, and
I
deeply
just saw it
unfortunate.
on like 4chan. I don't know if it's true. I've only heard secondhand.
Back in the
And
day.
James really likes being put out there like that. And I think he requested it and paid for that paid for some of the cost for that
interesting.
billboard. And
For those of you who are unfamiliar with the definition of the word sabotage, it is right in front of you.
do you have another fact about me, or you want to end the game?
Is it? Are we competing?
We're
Is
not
this a
competing. We're not
game?
competing. We're not competing.
I feel like I share so many wonderful things about you.
Yeah. You can share another way I'm complicated, or another way, or a specific way that I'm brilliant.
Oh, okay. Well,
But nothing that I will find displeasing to be aired.
So I think
and-
I concluded the list.
Okay, that's
No,
fine.
I think that you, for me, are an incredibly generous friend.
I would say that James is also one of the most generous people with his energy, which is crazy to me because I think so many things consume James's energy that I wish did not. And that I still feel like he has dedicated and put in a lot of energy and effort toward engaging me in various meaningful ways, for which I'm
So does
very
this
grateful.
not count as you throwing mine back at
No,
me?
it does, but yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
just checking.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
But I'm not saying this is mine for my next turn, which is like what you were doing. Yeah, generous. How am I generous?
In many ways.
James just bought me lunch.
I did, but you bought me a concert ticket.
Oh yeah, you still owe me more money than that lunch.
You won't get it, but
That's
we
fine,
can
that's
theoretically believe that I owe it to you.
Okay.
I think you're generous with your time.
Ooh.
You let me stay at your place if I need a place to
yeah.
crash.
I
You
don't
let me drink your
everybody
drinks.
stay whenever they want, but James, I do.
Always has a towel for me to shower.
Oh my God! Do people not have a towel for you to shower? at
Some
their
people
place?
don't have towels for themselves
That's
to shower.
not
Have
true.
you met white people?
That's not true. That's not true. White people have tons of towels.
They're decorative.
Okay, you can use them.
Theoretically, yes. They don't.
Okay. Have you been dating at all recently?
No. Next question.
You don't go on dates. Okay. Oh my God. Sorry. I did not intend to prompt whatever that was.
I'm thinking about my responses and
You can just say no. I don't go on dates.
as it relates to who may or may not listen to this. I haven't been on any dates since I returned to the U.S.
Okay, in the past month or whatever.
Yeah, I've been back for a little over a month.
Okay. Do you plan to date
Um,
or not interested?
I'm open to the idea, but generally disinterested in people.
Okay. Wow. How cool.
Yeah.
Very cool of you.
It's the
All
niche thing
people
that I'm
suck. Hate dating. Dating sucks.
They're really terrible.
I go on lots of dates. People who know me know that I go on lots of dates. I don't find them draining or taxing, even if I'm not into the guy. And I always say, like, worst case scenario, there's a sexy man who I thought could be my husband, who I get to cross off the list in this very short, I don't know, bucket of gay men in LA that I feel like I'm always scraping at the bottom of the barrel of. But somehow, like, just like the universe will throw like 3 more drops of men in.
Drag
like every
yourself multiple
It's
times.
fine. No, I'm allowed to be picky. It doesn't mean I'm not wanted or desired.
I mean, but why are you scraping from the bottom if you're not?
Like, I've gone through everybody
And can you clarify
on
for?
apps.
Ooh,
On
can you
apps.
clarify for the listeners? You
Uh-huh.
do actually keep a list.
Of what? Of men that I go on dates
Men's
with?
list. Yeah.
I do have a list of men I've engaged with for the purpose of record keeping that.
Is this somehow changed that you have a list or?
No. I'm just explaining myself.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, so moving on.
Wait, but
uh-huh.
are you about to say more about dating?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I was swiping on Bumble and I saw this guy's bio and it said, "Never messaging first again. Not that desperate." And I was like, oh my God.
I'm sorry, what?
I know. I was so sad. I would say that I've been on in the past month, I've met up with some men who are some of the loveliest men I've ever met up with and had the pleasure of engaging with. And also went on some of the worst dates of my life just in the past month, like 2 or 3 dates that are in the top 5 worst dates. And
So-
it's nothing egregious or traumatizing, just men that I could not stand interpersonally. Yeah.
Wait, you got to tell us some stories. So,
No,
wait,
you-
start
you-
with the positive ones. You
The
said you
positive
met
ones?
some people that you've adored. What
Oh
was
my God.
great
Just
about
like,
it?
I don't always screen the people I go on dates with very heavily. If I think they're attractive, what? If I think they're attractive and they're moderately responsive via message, I say, "Hey, let's meet up," because I don't like chatting forever. I don't want to chat with someone who I've never met and ask what they did or how they're doing. None of that. I say, "You want to meet up, whatever." And then
What are 3 features that would lead to someone being attractive for you?
on the profile or during chatting or whatever.
When you're just like
I,
looking
like
at the pictures.
physical
features.
No.
Oh, so physical attraction is not a part of it.
Physical attraction is absolutely part of it, but it's broad. I would say broad.
So
in
name
terms
3
of,
broad
I find myself. I don't know what facial
have
features
penises.
they have. Penises. That's not.
Legs.
I'm not. No.
They're alive.
Oh, I thought you were asking me a serious question.
I was, but then you took it to a level that I wasn't expecting it to go to.
And you were giving me an out.
Sure.
Yeah. In terms of, I always ask on dates the qualities that they look for in a partner. I ask about the ways they've struggled in past relationships.
Okay.
I ask, like, I don't really ask about their relationship history, but I get an unusual amount of like men our age who like have been in like 0 to 1 relationships, and I was like, interesting, which is totally
you are
fine.
at the bottom of the barrel. So.
Yeah, maybe. This is the other sad thing. I really feel like as we are aging, that the securely attached, healthy men the number of them is like dwindling slightly.
Because they're dying?
No, because they're all poached up, like already grabbed, nabbed, and that
poached up.
Yeah,
that makes
sorry.
it sound like they're murdered.
or eggs. But then I fantasize that like one of them is still in like a dysfunctional relationship and only about to get out of it.
Somewhere waiting for me.
I don't know that song.
Is waiting somewhere. Cinderella?
With Brandy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Roger and Hammerstein.
Oh, yeah. With the sexy Asian Prince Charming, who I think like never acted again. I don't know.
Also incorrect.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Couldn't name one of them, but I know that they existed.
Okay. And then even when I ask these questions on dates, what?
No, I was like, I don't fucking know.
Even when I ask these questions on dates, like some men will be like, "Whoa, I don't know. Am I being interviewed? Well, I don't know." Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, don't answer. I don't want you. And this is like literally, I think this is probably indicative that I push people too far, because I find myself saying on most dates, I go, oh, don't answer anything you don't want to answer.
You're a pusher.
Like, don't share anything you don't want to share. Like, that should be baseline. Do not share anything you don't want to share. Yeah, and then guys feel.
But if they're trying to fuck, then they're gonna share shit that they feel like they need to
share.
in
These
order
are like
to get
date
in
dates.
them draws.
No, these are like dates. And most men who have like a decent head on their shoulders will just answer the question.
But most men are trash, so
I don't go on dates with trash men. I really don't. Very few. Like, when people tell me dating horror stories, I go, that's crazy. And I just have nothing. Yeah.
This is me choosing to be nice to my friend.
Whatever.
Continue.
I'm not requesting that.
I know, I'm just not trying to drag you.
That's fine. Yeah, don't drag me. This is my own. Yeah, you're a guest.
Don't drag you. This is my show.
Yeah, you're a guest.
Wow.
And then guys will say like, oh, like I want a guy who's like caring, who's like close with his family, no one who's like rude to service staff. And then I go,
this feels like a setup.
no, for them?
No, for me.
No. This is what I do on my dates when guys say that to me. I go, oh, are there any that not 100% of the universe would agree with? Like, can you tell me one that is not one that is universally good? And then they all have a hard time answering that question. And I wonder
of the Sabotage.
if do you have an answer to that question of any quality or trait you enjoy in a person or date or partner that is not something that is universally loved and valued?
Rich.
Okay. Anything else? Anything interpersonal, psychological, emotional?
Honestly, I've not thought about this. I'm sure there is a thing.
Okay.
Republican?
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't enjoy that.
I have a question for you. If you're on, I know you're not really dating right now, but if you're dating and you're on Hinge and they have their political view thing filled out, would you rather go on a date with someone whose profile says moderate or someone whose profile says apolitical? Because those are both options on Hinge.
I've never had a Hinge profile. So I don't have any data for how conversations with either of those people play out.
It's not. Just think about people.
I know. I'm just providing some context. So
Love,
I don't know.
Love when people give a million caveats. Yeah, go.
That wasn't a caveat.
Caveat, I've never had a Hinge profile. Caveat, I don't know
Those
how
are not
conversations...
caveats.
They
I
are.
was not
They're
using
caveats for
those
opinion.
as
Go.
outs for the question.
You're right.
I just have not thought about this, and I would imagine that the level of conversation I could engage in around politics with either of these people would probably be similar.
Oh,
not for the
interesting.
same reasons, but I think they would have the way in which I would perceive their engagement, I think, would be similar, and both are fine.
Oh, both are.
If I had to choose,
Both
I would
are
choose
fine.
someone who is apolitical over someone who says moderate.
Why?
Because someone who says moderate would require that we actually talk about something political for me to understand what moderate means for them, and I would rather not.
Oh, I thought you just said you would choose moderate.
No. I would choose apolitical.
Oh, okay. But then this is not applying to conversations you would have with someone who you're considering as a long-term prospective partner.
One more time?
Like,
ask the question again.
if you're talking about like considering people to be your husband, not saying you want a husband, but like you said you prefer apolitical to not talk about the issues, but if I want to date someone to potentially marry them, I want to talk about the issues and I want to know their stances on them. And if apolitical people won't talk to me about it, that's also an issue. And if moderate people are not in line with mine, that's also an issue.
Yeah, but your question was about whose profile would I rather engage in based on those things.
Okay, so engage in just to meet and not to like date and marry. Okay.
Maybe. But
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm looking at a profile and making my decision based on that factor, like you showed me people that for otherwise, like,
okay, yes,
all of the purposes they're equal, and you're like, choose based on political affiliation. I'm gonna choose
apolitical just rubs me the wrong way.
Lots of things rub you the wrong way.
Yeah, does it not rub you a negative way?
No, I mean, I think I find that people who are apolitical in that way, I feel like I'm only talking about the data that I have based on the people that I know and that I've met. This ain't everybody, whatever, think what you want to think. But I feel like it just means that they don't enjoy talking about politics and would rather put that forward. It doesn't mean that they don't have political opinions or beliefs.
Yeah.
But, if they don't want to talk about that, we don't have to.
Okay.
I also think that there are things that are, like, I don't believe that identities are inherently political.
Yes.
So I don't count that as politics.
Okay. What you're saying about apolitical being an indication that they don't want to discuss them for whatever reason resonates with me in a positive way that makes me more open-minded about like apolitical people. But there's a counter argument where apolitical people I don't want an apolitical person who's not explicit with themselves about their views and they view themselves as like not engaging in these debates or like things like that on like different issues, and like a moderate person at least is like claiming a stance, and I can say I disagree with your views, but at least you know what you believe. But I get what you're saying, if apolitical people can also know what they believe and just don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, but even to say that they're not going to participate in the debates does not mean that they're not going to have an opinion or make a choice when that matters.
I know. So my interpretation of apolitical was more that they are disengaged rather than
always.
Not always, but disengaged rather than not wanting to discuss. So yeah, so that's interesting. Yeah. Oh, that makes.
But in your definition of disengagement means unwilling to participate,
and like thinks politics is either stupid or too divisive, or like that's kind of.
I was like, I studied politics in college, and I believe those things.
Yeah. So. Today, James went with me to my gymnastics class, and my coach asked him what he majored in college, and he goes,
I forgot for a split second.
Yeah, I didn't even hear you say it at all.
I graduated in 2022, so.
It's been, I mean, graduating in the pandemic, it's like, who even, what even counts? Such a blur. I can't, I mean, it's sad that you didn't get to walk because I know, did they end up doing like a delayed, like 1 year later, like offering you a ceremony to walk?
Am I just imagining, are we just going with this narrative that I actually graduated in 2022?
Oh, when did you graduate, actually?
Why are you talking to me like we have never met and we're not fully in college at the same black ass time?
Ladies and gentlemen, James. Oh, sorry. If you don't want your last name on the internet, I'll bleep that out.
Well, here we go. It's only the name of 3 million people on the planet.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Do you ever go by Jim? Anyone call you Jim?
Absolutely not.
Really? Have people tried?
My siblings, there is this thing that, this ain't none of y'all business, but I'm telling you anyway. My siblings would call me Jim or Jims when they thought that I was being mean or rude or nasty or unfair
And
or
why?
acting like my father.
Is your father Jim?
No.
Oh.
We are black.
Why is Jim a name that is associated with that type of behavior?
Because it sounds like a white name.
Oh, okay.
So it's sort of like
got it.
the way that I interpreted, which is probably not how they gave it to me, but was like, you are acting like some miscellaneous white man, and you should probably stop.
Okay.
So I'd be like, I see Jim is coming out today.
Okay. Interesting. I've always gone by Daniel, never Dan or Danny. And I'll be like, yeah, like never been by Dan. And then people be like, oh, yeah, no, that doesn't fit you at all. And I'll be like, I agree. But then we talk about the different connotations between Dan and Danny. So what is the connotation to you of the kind of person who's named Daniel that goes by Dan? Like what type of person are they versus Danny versus Daniel? You have nothing?
I mean, I would need to break this down by like where in the world you're
from.
None
None
of
that.
Are,
This is
what your
classic
mama look like.
James. Classic James.
Yeah,
I need more information.
I know a lot of Dannies.
Really? I don't know. I know maybe one Dan.
Did you ever meet?
Don't use. Okay, no.
This is abstract.
Who?
He's just a musical person.
Oh, okay, no.
Okay.
So Dan is typically thought to seem like more masculine or straight boy type of name. Okay. And Danny is like more childlike or boyish or gay or something.
While Daniel is just like
Daniel's
Asians in America.
like I don't know.
I could throw a stone
Daniel's
right
a
now.
biblical name. Like Daniel is a book in the Bible, which is crazy.
Part of how Asian people assimilated to America.
Yeah, picking Christian names from the Bible. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. I don't know about all those.
Where did Kevin come from?
I don't. Kevin. Oh, Kevin went. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's racist.
How did we get here?
I'm just kidding.
I mean, maybe a little bit.
Oh, I had something to say and I forgot it.
It's okay. You can cut that part out.
What were we talking about before this, Dan? Oh, but then there's this interesting phenomenon with like the people who feel comfortable starting to call me Dan without any sort of, approval from me or even request. And people who I'm close with can call me whatever they want. But in work settings, I've had numerous people start calling me Dan.
Is this because you're behaving like a Dan? Or these are just people that would have shortened your name regardless?
But there's various reasons for the potential shortening. So like one phenomenon is like older, sometimes like queer or butcher white women like to call me Dan. This is true. This is a fact. Or people do it and think it's an inherent affiliative like behavior to like give me a nickname. And it's
like we're
positive.
friends now.
Yeah, like, oh, hey Dan, like in an email that's like, hey Dan, like this.
Girl.
Which is fine. It generally does not offend me, but it is interesting who feels like they're
I would love for you to describe what these queer butchish people are like, but
it's interesting who thinks they can just like do it, and then there's like it really depends on who in terms of how it rubs me.
Professionally, no one has called me Jim. Well, there are people who will send me an email and leave the S off of my name.
That's a typo.
And that bothers me.
That's a typo.
Then it's not a typo when it is like in my email and it is like the name that pops up.
No,
it's
they are making a typo.
Yes.
No. What? Yes, they are. What do you mean?
They are not paying attention.
Oh, yeah, and thus they made a typo.
And so I respond, and I also take the last letter off of their name. Thank you, Jerem.
Oh my God.
Unless they're not American, in which case I've learned that one of my closest friends, who is a Vietnamese man who lives in Thailand, well, currently he's in Nepal, but that ain't none of y'all business. He will sometimes call me Jame. And when he calls me Jame, when we're together, it's fine. But then when he types Jame, I'm always confused. Because you
Okay.
know that my name is James.
Why is he doing that?
I don't know. I've
Like
never asked.
language issue? Like he forgets that your name is James and thinks like the singular is Jame? I'm not roasting anybody. I'm like understanding the mechanism of his consistent misnaming you.
I actually don't know. I feel like it is
Okay.
not that he thinks that James is the plural.
No,
of
no,
James.
like maybe he thinks the S is like a affiliative
Optional?
marker. Like in Korean, you can add an extra vowel at the end of someone's name to like call out to them or something like that.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I don't know. I would have to ask him. I mean, I could call him right now.
Yeah, we're not doing that, but yeah. Something interesting has happened. So I feel like some people in my life will know about this. So I've had for a long time like 2 life mottos that I say that are just like sentences that I like remind myself in certain times of challenging situations and experience. And I had lunch with a dear friend kind of from school named Linda, and she came back to me like a year later after we like had last seen each other. After we went to the fall BTS concerts in 2021 together, and I saw her not that long ago, and she was like, Daniel, like a year ago you told me your 2 life mottos, and I've been using them, and they've both been helpful.
Look at you, an inspiration to the masses.
And then I was like telling this story to another person, and then it resonated with them, and then now I'm workshopping mottos 3 and 4 that I have. No, I have them tentatively. They're like in my note on my phone of Daniel's life mottos 3 and 4. I'm testing their like generalizability, general.
Notice how he didn't tell us what 1 or 2.
I know.
was?
I will.
Okay, we're getting there.
The first, very basic, all of them basic. The first is, don't be mad, feel bad.
Unpack.
Yeah, so it's like when someone is doing something that makes you angry or upset because they're being foolish or incompetent or stupid or rude, I always say, you know what? Don't be mad, feel bad, because the only thing worse than being on the receiving end of that behavior is being the person who acts that way and is paying for it regardless of if they know it or not. So then one controversial aspect of this is my old coworker Asta was like, hey, this feels like a status quo sustaining mantra because it suggests that like what goes around comes around, and like karma will come around to all these like horrible people eventually, when that's not true. And I agree with her.
Sort of.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they're paying for it in ways that they don't realize.
Or that they might. Realize.
Or that they might. Yeah, and it's their choice. That's fine. Yeah. So whenever someone is upsets me or makes me angry or does not support me in the way that I want or whatever, I go, or offends me, not the support one. I scratched that one. I'm just like, oh, like if it's something that I think other people in their life will also experience, I just think about the fact that like a bunch of people out there in the world like have had this thought and feel a negative reaction to you, and that must be worse than me receiving it from you once.
I think that is fine so long as that is all internal.
Yeah. Oh, it is all internal.
Because if you were then to like convince other people to believe that that person's behavior was sad just because you
it's not that their
experienced
behavior is sad.
No, but that you should feel sad for them for exhibiting that behavior. That means that you are establishing a bar for what behavior should be like
acceptable
in whatever
or whatever.
context
Yeah,
it is,
yeah.
and that feels
no,
a little unfair.
This is purely a self-regulatory strategy.
Yes, in that way, I think it's
Yeah,
great.
and I can do it with peers who are experiencing the same thing or whatever.
However, I wonder, like, how does that interact with the potential need for a particular behavior, action, communication
to be
to
changed.
change?
Oh yeah, that's different. That's
Okay.
different.
So you can feel bad for them, but still like suggest or
Yes,
offer correction.
Oh yeah, this is not mutually exclusive with feedback or
Okay.
criticism.
So it's like
all.
I feel bad for you, but also
It just
It
helps
requires
me
this response.
pity them rather than feel victimized or marginalized.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes. But can you feel victimized or marginalized without being angry?
Because I don't know.
I think that there's sometimes a problem when people don't experience. We might get a little too deep here, but like there's sometimes a problem when people don't experience marginalization based on some things that they do experience in life, because then
like they don't perceive it as marginalization.
Yeah. So like an example being like people of color that perpetuate white supremacist ideals and behavior. Right?
Okay.
Like they don't feel marginalized by that behavior, by those actions, so then they perpetuate them. Because they don't feel
marginalized by how white people treat them, so then they treat other people that same way?
That could be an example, but like there are things that are part of that are tenets of white supremacy culture that are such independently of who's doing the thing.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
And so if they experience one of those things and they just don't feel marginalized, or like, look,
so
I can say something more concrete.
No. But it makes them not critical of it and therefore engaging it.
Like people who are like, it's okay that you use this deeply racist slur for me. It doesn't bother me.
Yes.
I'm not marginalized.
Yeah.
I feel bad that you would use it, but like it doesn't bother me.
And you're saying my motto. Okay, so never mind.
No.
Establishing boundary conditions. Got it.
Fine.
Motto number 2 is you always did your best, or else you would have done better. And this is also a very controversial one. And I always say this is the only caveat I have. This is not saying you cannot do better or could not have done better, but this is saying considering a constellation of factors that includes motivation, awareness, psychological resources, psychological limitations, that by definition, that was your best within that time.
I'm fully on board with this.
Yeah. And it's not meant, people say, oh, I don't like that because you can always do better. And I was like, I never said you cannot do better.
Yeah.
I never said you cannot do better.
Right.
And this is just retrospective.
Right.
Yeah. Great. Thank you for being on board. Love that. Everyone is like, oh, no, you can do better. I'm like, and then those are the 2 that I've had for years. And then I'm workshopping 2 more. The third one.
Are we getting an exclusive?
Oh my God. I don't know. Yeah. The third one I've discussed with people. The fourth one I have not.
The way that I almost said Patreon exclusive.
Oh my God.
People are paying for this.
So the third one is, it's similar in intent and function of the first one. So it's a self-regulatory mantra where you just go, oh, people can be so different. And I just love that one. I love it. It can be used in anger situation, like conflict. It can be used in like incompatibility. It can be used in small, and you're just like, what the fuck? What are they? And then you just go, people can be so different.
Bitch, somebody tried to convince me that I was gaslighting them for that very same belief.
What belief?
Because
I don't believe
that
you.
People can be so different. Because they thought that I was trying to convince them that the way that I responded to a thing was normal and right versus like my individual response.
Okay.
Which is not what I was doing. I was just saying that like it is okay that my response is different from yours.
I don't care about that person thinking that because that's just a little stupid. That's fine. No,
that's what I'm saying.
No, I don't think. Yeah, we don't need to think about that person. Whatever. So that's that third one, and it really, I think it has broader application. As broad as it sounds, I think it has an even broader application than I'm articulating right now. And the fourth one, this is my new one. I've not talked to anybody about this, but I've invoked this feeling in talking to people over years. Am
I about to be surprised?
No, it's just, these are all very simple. And the fourth one is, it's because they don't want to.
Oh.
What's your interpretation of that?
Can you like put that in context?
No, I mean, the point is that like, I don't know. So
no, you need to put it in context.
So these are very similar in function. Maybe these are too similar, but because they don't want to is whenever people are displeased or disappointed by the behavior of others.
Can you give like a concrete?
Like why, why, oh my God, why didn't this boy text me back? Why didn't my advisor in grad school like support me in this way? Why didn't my parent do this when I was, and I'm not saying it's just respective of desire. It can be respective, but I'm saying that like there is a allocation of resources that they made in the moment, and that your desired behavior did not fall into that.
I am battling these headphones, but
you don't have to take them off. Thank you. Own your choice.
And
Thank you.
if I don't, it's because I don't want to.
Yeah, own your.
Yeah. Wait. So, what's the utility of this one? Like, if you experience something and you tell yourself it's because they don't want to.
You're right.
Like,
you're right.
Why
this
is
useful? More about confronting reality and grieving. So this is like when we're angry, angry or disappointed by someone's behavior, and we're confused or saying they should have behaved differently.
Okay.
And like, oh my God, why didn't they invite me to this thing? Or why didn't like blah blah tell me that? Why did I find out so late that this person got engaged? Or like, all these different things. And it's just like, you know what? They just didn't. And it's not that they literally didn't want to, but they didn't want to enough to do it.
Okay, I hear you. And to this one, I say, keep workshopping.
Okay, why?
Keep close.
What's your feedback?
I don't think people confronting that is the issue.
I think people confronting that is an issue a lot.
It can be, but I'm saying like I can accept that somebody behaved in a way because they wanted to or they didn't want to, whatever. That does not answer for me why. That doesn't help me better. That doesn't help me better understand my relationship to that thing.
So for me, it's supposed to exactly answer the question of why, and it's supposed to answer our confusion. And we say, like, and the answer is
So, I mean, you're just saying there is no need to engage beyond that. Like, there's
no
need to exist.
Whoa, I didn't say that.
No, I don't mean with the person, with the idea. Like, to say to yourself,
no,
they just
I'm
didn't
not
want
even
to, that's
saying
enough.
that. I'm getting people to engage it by saying, so the reason, like, it gets them to engage and even further speculate on what the reasons they didn't want to was. Like, either whether it's under-resourced or not in line with their values or priorities or whatever. Like,
and how does that help? Like, how does that serve me?
Because I feel like people experience frustration in those moments, and then there's like a bewilderment that someone could behave out of line with your values or expectations. And they're like, I can't believe they did this. Or I can't believe they didn't invite me to this thing. Or like,
so
yeah.
So is the motto supposed to alleviate some of that frustration?
It's not supposed to alleviate the negative like feeling, but it's supposed to shift you from bewilderment, confusion, or frustration into processing. I don't know.
Maybe I just stay in processing because I'm like, I fully all the time I'm like, she didn't want to do this. And I'm deeply confused and still bewildered because how dare she not want to do this?
And then you can speculate, okay, so if she, like, there was actually another version of this motto that it was a different sentence than I'm about to say that I got scrapped, but it's like, there must be something you don't know. Is like part of.
So why did you shift from that to there?
Because I don't remember, but I think that there must be something you don't. I think it has the same intention. I don't remember why I switched, but I think maybe because it's a little punchier and sassier, the one that I initially said. And
is it?
Well, so I see now the utility of the new one of helping people grapple with information they don't have. And yeah,
because for me, that's one that I hold all the time.
Yeah,
and mine is like,
I think.
There's always so much I don't know.
Oh my gosh, James, like embodied that in our first fight ever, where I blew up at him. Literally the second time I ever hung out with him. And
fight feels like an extreme word.
Sorry,
and I also was not participating.
Whatever. We're not going to go into details about this. But
I wasn't.
I reacted to a thing a certain way angrily. And he reacted with bewilderment. Or part of it, your response was like trying to understand.
Sure.
And that already was this place of like, instead of calling me crazy, he was like, let me understand what happened for you and what was coming up for you and why you responded the way that you did. And it was, and even once you learned, You were not like, that's stupid. You were like, I would love to not bring that up for you. And that's information to care for someone. Yeah. And then that's why maybe that's a good motto for when we activate other people or in the more generalized situation of when people, behave in whatever way that you don't expect or want
I stay activating people. It's just a part of who I am.
Yeah.
I've accepted it.
I feel like, I mean, everyone activates everyone, but I get activated, triggered a lot, and for the past year of my life is the first time I've started to manage my own self-regulation, and it's crazy. And maybe we will talk about that more in depth another time.
Later day.
But,
okay.
How
do we get to the conversation about mottos?
I just brought it up spontaneously.
And you can do that because it's your show.
Yeah.
And no one else's.
Oh, that's too close to Trixie Katya.
It is exactly that.
It's not. It's paraphrased. Both halves of the
Barely
phrase.
paraphrase.
So
it's not paraphrase. It's just the perspective has shifted, which technically makes it just paraphrase, but that's fine.
I'm not going to respond.
You don't have to.
What are some of your interests, James?
I feel caught off guard by this.
Oh, you don't have to have interests. Or you can pass. Say, let me think about it. Come back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm.
You see that? That's you laughing too loudly. It's true, but it's fine.
All right. Well.
No. Oh. You're like, were you silent, or were you silenced?
Silenced.
Okay.
Okay. Interest.
Volleyball?
Deeply disconnected. Yes.
Volleyball?
Not as much
coaching
lately.
The youths?
Yeah, I turned down a coaching job
Really?
recently. Because I thought I wanted to get back into it after a pandemic break, right? And then I put my name out there. Athletic director at a high school nearby reached out to me. I went and I talked to her. She was like, yeah, this is great. I was like, okay, let me think about it. Over the weekend, whatever, she gets back to me on Monday and she's like, there's another candidate interested. And me thinking like, oh, I would still do it, but if this person is more motivated, let them do it. And let them coach the head varsity team. I'll just coach the JV team, right? Because then I'll have more freedom, less games, whatever. And then they're like, okay, we'll do that, essentially. But in the email that she sent me, because she also included like the principal and the district folks, she was like, I think you both have similar philosophies and are both very strong coaches. Mind you, I've coached, before the pandemic, I coached for 9 years.
Yeah.
At a bunch of different levels.
Yeah.
And so I'm like,
all
okay.
High school?
Some pre-high school.
Okay.
So I'm like, let me talk to this person and just get a sense of what it is.
Talk to the other candidate.
Yes. I mean, this is after I'd agreed to coach JV.
Okay.
So I was like, I want to talk to make sure that we're aligned because I have a particular philosophy about how these things work, and I just want to make sure that we can adapt. Talk to this person. They couldn't tell me what drills they like to do, what the purpose of those drills were. They couldn't tell me what distinguished a varsity player from a JV player.
So you had to turn down.
They couldn't walk me through a practice. I'm like, you did not say that we are both strong coaches with similar philosophies with someone who couldn't tell me theirs. I was like, can you send me a practice plan? And they were like, I don't have one of those.
So this reflects the incompetence of the person hiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was a little hurt, to tell you the truth.
They're incompetent.
This person was like, I was like, oh, how long have you been coaching? 1 year.
Maybe it's a typo.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so didn't take that.
Because you couldn't be the main coach. And you felt like you would.
I could have been.
I mean, you didn't want to be the main, whatever, with this, incompetent, inexperienced person.
Yeah, I mean, I would have, if this person was interested in learning from me as a coach, I would have taken that on. But it seemed like this was someone who was, sort of self-aware and assured in their coaching abilities. In their communication, it seemed like they knew what they wanted to do and how they wanted to do it. And I just didn't want to be in a position where I felt compelled to take things over.
Of course.
Because I didn't want to be embarrassed by the situation.
And you would, yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Great job. Yeah. I support your decision-making reasoning process. This ain't going to be
cute. So I just would rather not.
I'm going to, in our last little bit here, it's going to be an opportunity for me and James each to make one last statement about the other person that is actively sabotaging them and throwing them under the bus
I can't.
What? I can bleep it out. And I will bleep out anything I say about you.
I mean, I just don't have anything that actively sabotages you and throws you under the bus.
Wow. This is where James is a skilled actor. Because James, I don't know. James,
listen, Daniel, you're perfect. You're beautiful.
You look like Linda Evangelista.
You're a model. If you were wearing tights, I'm sure you stoned them yourself.
Okay, no. So then I can just go?
I will respond to you.
You're going to give me one? Oh, no, I just do mine.
Yes, okay. And I will respond to you based on what I hear from you.
So this is, I think one time I told you that you said this to me and you didn't believe me, but you did say this to me. Okay. So that's not, so I don't know why you thought it was okay to say to me, an Asian person, you told me that you are specifically into like.
Oh. I said that. I said, and I stand by it.
Oh my God. Yeah, great. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm going to bleep all this out. I'm scared.
Not exclusively into. I said I am.
Yeah, I didn't say exclusively. I'm
just clarifying.
Okay.
No fetishization over this direction.
Okay. That's how you feel? That you don't fetishize women. Great. No, same. Oh my God. Lionel called me an Asian fetishizer like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, oh, I love that.
Okay. I was like, our inward interpretations of things don't always match people's outward perceptions of them.
No, that he meant it derogatorily, you mean?
No, I mean, the way that you're processing your own thing might appear to someone else to be fetishization.
Oh no. I mean, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And
I think that's fine.
Yeah. Happy to unpack that if anyone has questions.
I'm sure people have questions. And if you don't have questions, you have some unpacking to do.
Oh my, no, that's not true. That's not true. Live your life. Be chilling.
Chill. You should still have questions. You don't got to ask them, but you should have them. What were you saying about the fact that I told you that I like
I thought it was funny that you thought that was a thing you should say to me.
I'm sure that I didn't say this out of context. I wasn't like, yo, Daniel, I love a don't you?
That's what all the people that say things say. They're like, that was out of context. That's a sound bite.
It is
out of context.
It was a sound bite.
And I say, everything's a sound bite. Everything's out of context. And there's context and there's no context,
It's the editing for me.
There's no editing. There's actually no editing.
This is the editing. The editor putting it out here into the world. I said that.
Okay. Can you tell one fun story from your travels?
Wait a minute. I don't get to say something.
Oh, you absolutely do. I thought you opted out. Go ahead.
I didn't opt out. I was just saying that I feel like I have more.
Yeah, I agree.
Positive things to say about you.
I thought you were going to say something that could destroy me, my reputation, and my family and friends. Just kidding.
No.
Oh, you could say a nice thing.
I want to say a mean thing.
Yeah, that's fine too.
No, I don't.
Do you think, I wonder if the listeners think you're like joking and you're like, that was just a cute little thing, or if you actually had a mean thing, and the answer is he actually had a mean thing.
I mean,
it was in his head. Yeah.
I don't think that you would find this to be mean. I think that anything that I could say about you, you would almost certainly acknowledge it as truth and be fine with.
I know, that's my toxic
which is probably
trait.
The thing. Like that.
Yeah. It's a adaptive and maladaptive coping mechanism, unfortunately.
Probably the most maladaptive thing, the most evident, or the most evidence of maladaptation manifesting over this direction is something that you said to me today, actually. Which is that self-awareness is all about alleviation of guilt. And my mind was blown.
And I'll broaden it to like alleviation of negative affect. I'm not going to say just guilt because it was very politicized when I said not guilt, but like guilt, shame, like other, like whatever.
I think
I'm not saying that's the purpose for me. I'm saying like,
I thought that's what you were saying.
Like the purpose of it oftentimes is okay, whatever. I think we're gonna not get into this. But wow, check that out. Look at how much time went by. Do you see that?
I also think you have an impressively sized forehead.
Oh, thank you. It's like I would say it kind of runs in my family, and I'm glad that I don't have a receding hairline yet. I don't. But then I
Do you
remember
wear glasses?
sometimes I wore them yesterday.
Exhibit A.
You know how they're like I've heard this thing that like you inherit your hair genes from the mom side of the family, right?
Okay. Never heard that before.
You never heard that. It's like if you're balding, you feel like your but then it's like if you look at your mom's side of the family, if you're trying to see if you're a man and if there are men that bald in your family and you look at your grandpa, like, wait, that's not the person you should look at because your mom got her hair genes from her mom and not her dad. So you like can't look at your maternal grandpa. And the only person who has your mom's hair genes that's a man is like a maternal uncle.
Okay.
And I don't know if any of this is true or not. So fact check and let us know.
I mean, if that's true, I'm about to be struggling.
And I also forgot that this podcast is called Something Fruity. What's something fruity about you? Okay. There doesn't have to be. Nothing?
Something fruity.
Yeah.
I think ass is delicious.
Oh my God. There's a lot of normies who are going to listen to this.
I mean, they probably think so as well.
Oh, you're right.
I didn't say you had to put it in your mouth.
I don't know how many straight people are eating ass. Do you?
The straights eat ass now.
I know. Oh, the straights are fisting. Like women. Like vaginas. You didn't know this? You didn't know that? Okay. I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding.
Wait,
No, I'm not kidding, but I'm saying I'm kidding.
How would you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Dabbling in straight business these days.
Do you also find the term gold star gay to be like problematic?
I probably could find it problematic if I thought about it more, but I've never thought about this before.
Okay,
Tell me why.
No. Let's not. I don't believe in allocating our energy to things that aren't. No, it's just people like think it's like a weird gatekeeping around like gayness or queerness.
But it doesn't.
Yeah, I know. They're like.
Does it disqualify you from something?
No.
Like, what do you not get?
No, it
by
doesn't. And
probably
probably gay dudes fetishize the non-gold star gays sometimes. And
probably.
Like, yeah, absolutely. James.
Wait, what's something fruity about you?
I'm not gonna say the thing that James said because I don't know that it applies to me.
It firmly does not apply to you.
But
You disagree.
oh my gosh, so my friend just showed me this yesterday. I saw some of my best friends since middle school the other day.
On their OnlyFans?
No. And then in second grade in Miss Abraham's class, we all got to write a few poems, illustrate them, and put them into like a hardcover, like published bound, like book cover book. And then my friend showed me a photo of the cover of my poetry book, and this is me in second grade, and I was like, I was fully gay in second grade already. And look at the cover of my book it's called Pleasant Poetry. And it's this beautiful.
Not you putting it up to the camera.
Oh,
you
yeah.
You can just insert it into
and
the
I
video.
said, clearly a homo already in second grade, but also drawing rainbows does not make you gay, but
it doesn't.
Maybe a little, or like it's associated statistically.
I had to describe to somebody white that like black people dancing, black men specifically dancing or shaking their asses is not an indication of their sexuality.
Why not?
Why is it not an indication? On that note, this has been
yeah, thank you. Hopefully I will do minimal editing and no bleeping, but I'll decide
there are probably
later.
some names in there that you could take out.
The names you said. I didn't say any last names. Ooh. Okay, James and I are gonna go see Bob the Drag Queen at the Troubadour, and then we're gonna go out later.
This has been a
and
pleasure,
it's gonna be
friend.
lovely. James visiting is always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks for chatting. I hope I didn't put you on the spot in any uncomfortable ways, and I'll cut any of those bits out. So listeners, you didn't hear anything James and I did not want you to hear. So know that.
No, you did not hear anything that Daniel does not want you to hear. I will play no role in the edit. No, he's not.
That's fine. Okay. Take care, everybody.
Bang.
Insert jingle. Do I have one? I need to find one.